What's going on, everybody? Thank you for being here.
Top of the evening, everybody. Yes.
Yes, and well,
Mhm.
as you can see by the title, we're going to be talking about Doug TenNapel. Did he abandon MAGA? What's going on with him? Because there's been some weird stuff going on with his with what he's been talking about. First he's for releasing the Epstein files, then he changed his mind. He's against it because Trump's against it. He's just following his lead, and then Trump calls it what
A hoax.
a hoax, and then he starts calling it a hoax, and he tries to prove that it's a hoax, and then they vote for it, right? And it was almost unanimous. Almost everybody voted for it, except
Now
for
we're
one
back in.
Republican. Except for one Republican, and then what happened? Oh, we're back in. We want to release them. Yeah. It's like,
That one
I mean,
Republican is a sketchy dude, too, by the way.
that looks have to be in knots. That's all I got to say. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, this is what we're going to dig into is a content creator, but there's more out there that need to be.
Yes,
Like,
yes. Don't worry, we're going to go after liberals too.
yeah, we're going to get them on.
We're going to be talking about Doug because we're kind of disappointed because we actually know Doug. So
Yeah,
I've met Doug a couple times, and I know Williams met him several times as well.
Do you mind if I just go into a little bit of it? Like Doug actually inspired me to do YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch it back in the day because when they manipulated the election in 2020, I was on the like information was what I was looking for. I wanted to find out what was happening, if anything was going to happen, of course. But anyways, we learned a lot, and his content was on fire because he brought receipts. He was a good content creator, and he was all in. And if you ask him now, it's so weird. Well, that didn't even happen. I'm like, dude, come on. This is the reason why I'm here. I mean, this is the whole thing. I mean, you brought receipts. You showed everybody talking about it. You said the numbers don't line up. Something's not right here. We've got problems here. Look at all the pizza boxes. This is not how you do things. We've got signed affidavits, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden you go to say, well, not it's just that didn't even happen. It's just there was no manipulation in the election of 2020. I'm like, no, come on. Okay. So at some point, I feel like as a friend, like if you see a friend that's too drunk to drive, you take the keys away and you hide them from him because you're like, come on, man. You just let's work on this here. Yeah, that's right. So we've got parabiology. Yeah, we're going to go into this, and it's a friendly intervention, is what we'll call this. Is that fair enough, Matt?
Yes. Hopefully he gets to see this and he'll take our criticisms and maybe answer some of them, maybe even come on and talk to us about it. We'll see what happens. But we're going to go ahead and play his video, react to it, and we're going to talk about certain subjects that he talks about in this video. This video is a couple weeks old, so let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Oh, hello to my people. Only the big news today. This is in the blowout of the divide in MAGA, where I'm trying to give us a winning path forward. That winning path forward does not involve Marjorie Taylor Greene, Alex Jones, unfortunately, Tucker Carlson, Thomas Massie. All those people are not going to accomplish what Trump set out to do. There's only one winning path forward. That is Trump, and that is only MAGA. Democrats are trying to divide us, and it's...
Look, those people he mentioned are MAGA.
Yeah.
Are MAGA,
They were MAGA before it was cool.
Yeah. They were MAGA before January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
They're MAGA in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2020. I mean, they're MAGA now. It's just that,
yeah.
People, go ahead, sir.
The MAGA movement is just like it's almost like the same thing that happened to original Democrats. They stayed the same, and the party left them.
Yes, that's almost like what's happened now. All of a sudden now we're for war. It's like what? What happened?
I want to take back a little bit of a memory hole so far as people who want to down Marjorie Taylor Greene. First of all, Matt and I will debunk her financial situation. She is worth that because of the business that she inherited from her father, and she does have some stock that she's trading. Everybody does. And her trading returns are actually, if you look into the numbers that she's getting back from her stock that she's trading on, is legitimate. You can tell there's no insider trading. She's getting normal numbers back. It's not like 117% return.
Well,
It's
the amount of money she has in stock is only 3.2 million. Now, when I say only, people are like, "That's it." That's a lot of money. But compared to someone like Nancy Pelosi, it's nothing.
yeah, and her returns, Nancy Pelosi's returns are exponentially not normal for somebody who's just trading stock. Even if your best investors couldn't get the numbers that Nancy Pelosi is getting. But
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is trading, but it's a normal situation. But a big chunk of her wealth comes from the construction business that she inherited after her father passed away, that she, by the way, was not able to be there for because she had left the hospital to come back and vote to make sure they didn't impeach Trump the first time. So I mean, people that want to down her, like, yeah, she took, and but she stayed in long enough to get her benefits from being in Congress for 5 years, which is 1% of. It's a real small percentage of what she would normally get, and I don't even think she can get it till she's a certain age. It's only like $8,000 a month or something. It's not very much. It's very minimal considering. So I don't want to hear
And
that
the
either.
thing, put yourself in her place. You've been at a job for 5 years that you hate, helping people and try to go out there and do the best for your constituency. And you decide, look, it's time for me to go. I won my election. If I would stay, it would go all the way, and I would get this pension anyway. I might as well just stay until till January 5th, get a pension, and then they can do a special election and get someone in here that wants to be here, which makes
Yeah.
sense. Completely makes sense to me.
Yeah, and the only thing I can think Thomas Massie's ever done is just be mad about the Epstein files and can we please pay the national debt down? If you get mad at a dude for that,
Big beautiful bill. It's because he didn't support that.
well, I didn't like it either.
No,
I don't like the AI
either.
takeover.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's other parts of it that's an issue too, such as it still raises the debt to $2 trillion annually. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that debt, by the way, is just it's a weird amount of stuff that it's funding, which is more actually is part of the AI thing. And all that's going to do is just come around and cram us in our rear end. And
And here's the thing. When it comes to Thomas Massie, he's not going to vote for a bill like that unless it's deficit neutral. If it's not deficit neutral, he's not going to vote for it.
Yeah. Well, and I agree, parabiology, that it'd be nice if she'd have finished her term. But I think that there's a reason for this. I think that this is going to be a point made. Like, I feel like there's something we're going to get something out of this. I don't know exactly what yet, but I'm sort of have a little hopium on that. And Alex Jones, by the way, has done a great job in supporting Trump when people didn't. Right now, I know this because I watch InfoWars a lot, and we were all getting blackpilled. And Alex Jones will call the Trump wins. The only thing, and so for Doug TenNapel to come out against Alex Jones, I think Alex Jones has supported Trump more than I have at certain times. And so, and Alex has actually been speaking a lot of truth on subjects at hand that needs to be addressed to keep, because Trump is being guided off of a cliff by really bad people in his administration, and getting criticism helps. Like a musician, if a musician makes really bad music, he's not going to sell any albums. He needs a producer who's going to tell him, look, that song sucks. Let's move this around a little bit. Let's make this more doable for the public, for what the public wants. And that way you'll be more famous. And they're like, okay, if you go against your producer, you don't, so basically that would be the deal. We are the producers. We're trying to critique what's going on. This is what we signed up for. And a lot of us, by the way, just as content creators alone, are personally invested in this with our time and our hard work, trying to get Trump into office for the things that we really care about, the things that he ran on. So it's up to us to kind of like do that. And
well,
so
it's up to us to keep his feet to the fire and make sure he does his promises. But let's go ahead and watch some more of the video.
Working on the conspiratorial right. So I already in the last video brought up conspiracy theories. I'm going to tell you today, not only I'm going to show you a conspiracy theory that I do believe, because I'm not just against conspiracy theories, I'm against conspiracy theories where there's zero facts. Welcome to Like an Exile. Let's get to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay. This is bad hombre. He says, did I call it or what? Now, this is what he said. Within 48 hours, Marjorie Taylor Greene will claim someone came to her house to threaten her or that she was swatted. She will absolutely pull a Jesse Smollett. Bookmark it, he said. Now, what he predicted came true. Doesn't mean she's lying, but he did predict that when she turned on Trump, that she was going to claim that she was being threatened. Okay, here's Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene. The hoax pizza box deliveries have started now to my house and my family members. So that's one claim. Update. We also received a pipe bomb threat on my construction company's office building. And finally, President Trump's unwarranted and vicious attacks against me were a dog whistle. This is what leftists claim, remember, to dangerous radicals that could lead to serious attacks on me and my family. Now it's going to come down to, do you believe that's true? So my only question.
Well, first thing I have to say is she's been swatted at least, I think, 3 or 4 times since she's been in office. I'll say that. And I'm sorry, but if that happens to you so many times, you're going to be paranoid as hell. Not only that, after what happened to Charlie Kirk several months ago and everything, I understand her paranoia and why she might be worried about maybe something happening to her. The thing is, I agree with them on one thing. She's being a little too paranoid about people on the right. But I don't blame her for being paranoid about people on the left, though.
Right. Well, the thing is some of these threats could be coming from within. You know, they really could. And to say, hey, FBI, can you investigate what's going on? Can you trust them to actually do that? Especially Marjorie Taylor Greene understands how this works. She calls it like she sees it. There is no 5D chess. There is no white hats. There are no special things going on in the back that's going to come around and save us from this thing. So, and basically, I think she also understands that there's a lot more to the Charlie Kirk assassination that's not being looked into for whatever reason, which means that you are in a compromised position on what she sees. Like, in other words, we're not going to get the protection. I wouldn't even at this point, I hate to say this, but it'd be hard for me as Trump to trust my Secret Service to actually do their job. We've seen follies that dang near cost his life in Pennsylvania and on his own golf course. And, you know, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I'd be afraid to go to bed. I'd be like, dang, I got to keep one eye open.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think he needs to worry about Secret Service. And the reason is because the guy he had take over is the guy who was with him that day and saved his ass and got him to the car. So yeah. I don't think you need to worry about that. What I would be worried about is more of what's going on within his administration, especially with people that I think might be compromised, whether it's someone's bribing them or someone has something on them and blackmailing them, whatever it might be, because there's a lot of that stuff I think that's going on. The other thing also, I think they probably have something on him as well because he's doing some weird stuff, such as the Epstein files. That's what happened. That was just weird. I mean, I just don't understand. You should just release it and got it over with, my opinion, especially during the government shutdown. Then at that point, the media would had to choose which one are you going to cover, the Epstein files, or are you going to cover the shutdown? And they're going to have to go back and forth. And at that point, neither one of them would be all that big of a deal at that point, because
that'd have been the time.
It would have been a dual story going on.
Well, I don't want to take too much away from the video, but we do know that there's a possibility that some of the people, Bannon's not that close to Trump anymore, but at one time he was. And it would look bad.
Here's the thing. Bannon's one of the guys that he also thinks is part of the conspiratorial right as well. He didn't say that, but that's what he thinks that as well.
You're talking about Doug TenNapel?
Yeah, Doug TenNapel. Yeah.
Yeah, right. By the way, speaking about Doug TenNapel's white as hell, because he needs to get out in the sun. I need to tell him, oh, Doug, if you're watching this video, call me up, or get you a UV light in there. Go outside some.
All right, let's go.
Question is, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene represents the conspiratorial side of MAGA. And who's more likely to perform? And Trump represents the center of MAGA, probably more right-leaning, even more normal MAGA, like Huckabee or like Ted Cruz, normal MAGA.
Okay. Huckabee and Ted Cruz. First thing, they're not MAGA or MAGA or MAGA. No, they're neocons and Zionists. That's what they are.
Yeah.
They're part of the establishment Republican Party. They always have been.
Yeah.
And him saying they're MAGA, that loses the whole definition of what MAGA really is.
Mm-hmm.
Because MAGA is about not having wars, not getting into people's business and foreign affairs, populist ideas when it comes to the economy, nationalist ideas when it comes to the border. And the thing is, those guys are in my opinion, I think they're for halfway open borders majority of the time.
Yeah.
They're for cheap labor, because there's parts of the Republican Party that's absolutely addicted to cheap labor.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Huckabee, that dude is what happened with that spy that he met with in Israel was absolutely insane. He should be drummed out of Trump's White House.
Exactly. Yes, that was a terrible thing. And then Huckabee doubles down and says, "How dare the conspiratorial MAGAs get upset that I, went and seen, what was that guy? Something Ordon, or what was his name? I can't remember. But that dude did 30 years in prison for being a spy. He was supposed to go over there for America to represent America, ended up working for Israel and spying on everything in America, and then got charged with espionage and did 30 years in prison. He is a complete. He
was selling secrets to China and other countries.
Yes, big time espionage, and also was well known for pretty much laying out the facts that we will use our nuclear weapons on you Americans if you don't follow suit. He told oh gosh, who was that president at the time? Was not the president, it was anyways, some politician. I can't remember all the details, but that dude was nuts.
Here's the other thing about him talking about the conspiratorial right. Dude, how did you start into politics when you did YouTube? You were talking about the stolen election in 2020. You made a lot of money off that before you got deleted off YouTube, then finally got put back on. And now you're attacking people for being conspiratorial. You were conspiratorial. Matter of fact, you still are in some cases, which some of your conspiracies are absolutely insane, in my opinion. But anyway.
Yes. Yeah, they go way off to the out. Yeah. Like I said earlier, I got into YouTube.
It's really too hypocritical for me. If you're gonna go after people for being conspiratorial, you don't be conspiratorial yourself.
That's right.
Yeah, be intellectually honest, please.
Yeah.
See where I'm going with this? What type of person follows Marjorie Taylor Greene versus what type of person follows Trump? If you have to draw two different camps out of them. And here's what I mean by kind of a character detail. This guy, breaking Trump gunman Thomas Crooks, used they, them pronouns. That's the type of person that is on the lunatic fringe that would shoot out a president or a Charlie Kirk. He was obsessed with furries. That's according to the New York Times. Those are comic book weirdos, intermingle animals and people, who I've been talking about for 15 years now. By the way, the other shooter, so this is the shooter of President Trump, the shooter of Charlie Kirk, also obsessed with trans, which is gender bending, and furries. And he was even dating a furry trans person. Do you see what I mean by the types are similar? It's not.
Okay.
The hell's that got to do with the Marjorie Taylor Greene?
No. He's comparing her conspiratorial nature to these people that try to kill. One of them tried to kill Trump. The other one killed Charlie Kirk. He's trying to compare her to an assassin. That there is defamation, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is, and because that doesn't. First of all, it's defamation, and then second, that doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to wrap my head around that. I was a little lost there. I'm like, what are we doing here? Are you comparing us to that?
She's never done anything like that when it comes to
No.
violence or anything else. I mean, it's just the logic there. I'm lost on it. I'm lost on the logic.
Yeah. Who's that? How do you say that right there? I want to make sure I get the name. Satarian.
Yeah.
We see all your comments, by the way. I'm reading them as we go along. Yeah. And forbidden.
That furries are all furries are shooters, of course not. But there's a type to the conspiracy theorists like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I'm sorry, but the mainstream Trump, Ted Cruz type does not deliver pizzas to Marjorie Taylor Greene's homes. They do not call in.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, they do.
The point he's making is actually a point that mainstream media would make. That's the crazy thing. Trying to compare. I mean, it's like comparing Trump to Nazis. It's the same thing. You're comparing her to someone that assassinated Charlie Kirk, and it's in a mainstream media compares Trump to someone who killed 12 million people. It's absolutely insane.
Exactly, but we do know that with no definitive proof, because a lot of people have said this, and they've said this ahead of time, so that we know that this is just something. When you notice a pattern, sometimes it's good to point it out and always label the fact that we are not sure, but we notice a pattern. Most of the people that do get swatted, because you can ask people like, you may not like them, Nick Fuentes and others, typically prior to the swatting, there's a pizza delivery that goes to the wrong address. That's somebody, or they'll have something say, we got some pizzas delivered here, and then that's somebody confirming that this address is here and this person is here, and so then they call in the SWAT. That has been noticed. Now, whether or not that's just a coincidence, that is a fact that has happened to people.
It's
before.
not always pizza dough as well. It's also sometimes telemarketers, and they're not actually telemarketers.
Right.
All sorts of stuff. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're right. They make sure that the victim they're going after to SWAT is actually at home at the time.
Right. Exactly. And so that's not. I mean, that is a conspiracy theory, because it hasn't been proven in court or actually found, but we're just going on information that the witnesses or the victims have laid out prior to these events happening.
Well, other people that have it's happened to is Tim Pool, Steve Bannon, so on and so forth.
Same thing. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the mainstream Trump, Ted Cruz type does not deliver pizzas to Marjorie Taylor Greene's homes. They do not call in pipe bomb threats. Do you understand what I'm saying here?
Well, no one accused Ted Cruz or someone like Ted Cruz of doing it. You're accusing someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene of doing it without evidence.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man.
He's trying to say that she set this stuff up so that she could do this.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to compare it to Jussie Smollett is what he.
Right. Yeah. Like she called in her own pipe bomb threat, or she, manufactured a situation so that she could claim some sort of victimhood to give her an excuse to do something, which would be kind of like what Smollett did. Which in itself, what he's saying is a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. It is a conspiracy theory.
A pretty far-fetched one.
And here's the thing. Twitter is not real life. So taking people's words on Twitter is not proof or evidence that you're right, or that she's a conspiracy theorist, or she called pizza boxes at her own house, or whatever else you're trying to insinuate here.
It's Marjorie Taylor Greene's conspiracy types. Weirdos on the left, conspiracy theorists. Now, here's Laura Loomer. Exclusive. I spoke with law enforcement officials at the police department in Rome, Georgia. That's Marjorie Taylor Greene territory. They told me they never received a report today of a bomb threat at the business or residence of Marjorie Taylor Greene. So she called a police officer. They said, I didn't hear anything. They would have heard something if there was a bomb threat called in. Marjorie Taylor Greene posted early today that because of President Trump, she was getting bomb threats at her construction company's office. It appeared that MTG MTG lied. The police in Rome, Georgia just told me they aren't aware of any bomb threat. The person I spoke with told me they would have been made aware of it. I recorded the phone call and I have a video of my conversation with the Rome, Georgia Police Department. So she does have the backup on this. I just don't want to post the video because I know that Marjorie Trader Green is so vindictive. She'll try to get the law enforcement officer fired for telling the truth. Margie Traylor Green, you need to stop lying. Police in your own district just told me there was never a bomb threat reported in. You made it up. That's a Jussie Smollett. And now a word from our sponsor.
No. Margie Traylor Green probably gets so many of them. You just kind of don't really, you just not have reported it.
Well, here's my thought. I don't know about that. First thing, I don't know if there's a bomb threat or not. That's number one. Number two, taking Laura Loomer's word for it on Twitter doesn't sound like a good idea to me, especially since she's been caught in lies herself, and she's absolutely nuts. I mean, I got some tweets of her saying, "Let me see, look at this first one." Actually, I think I got it up right here. I could go ahead and bring
Doug TenNapel is actually kind of kissing her behind too. By the way, he's like, "Oh, yeah, Laura Loomer. If Laura Loomer was cool for a little bit, and all of a sudden she went off the deep end, buddy. Lately, she's been out there, like pretty dangerous. All over the place.
Well, whoa, my bad.
Gee.
Hold on one second. Let me bring it back up. But I looked at her tweets, and she lost her mind off of not this video. Sorry, it's this one here. Let me bring it back up. Sorry, it's all mixed up.
Oh man!
All right,
drinking too much of that eggnog there. I'm drinking.
All right, here you go. I never thought I'd see a Republican give terrorists finance Muslims from Qatar at military base on U.S. soil so they can murder Americans. I don't think I'll be voting in 2026. I can't in good conscience make any excuse for harboring a jihadist. This is the last straw. Last I draw the line. Look, first thing, we're not giving them a U.S. Air Force base. That's number one. What they're doing is they're giving them an area where they could train on how to use planes they're buying from us. Now, you know how many countries we work with like that?
It's like a bunch of them.
70.
Like 70. Okay, yeah.
70. Yeah. All right. And you know how many of them are Muslim majorities?
Probably over half.
No, 6. 6 of them.
I was going to say, I would not be surprised.
But she loses her mind on Twitter because at one time, or I don't know if they still do, but they were mixed up with the Muslim Brotherhood. I'm like this. Guess what? Every Muslim country's mixed up with Muslim Brotherhood, including the 6 we actually train to run our planes, and we sell them planes. And I'm like this. Look, this is nothing new for the United States. Trump, the reason he made this deal with Qatar is because they helped us facilitate the peace deal in Israel. That's the reason he did it. You know, and I remember having a conversation with someone on Twitter, we're tweeting each other or whatever it's called, messaging each other. And this person was like this. The reason he did it is because he got that plane, right? From
he
Qatar.
Didn't get that plane. After he's out, this stays there at the White House kind of thing.
Yeah. But my point, here was my thing. I was like this. What does the plane have to do with it? And they're trying to say the plane was a bribe to make sure they could. I was like, that's conspiracy theory, number one. Number two, Qatar actually gave the United States that plane in 2021 to Joe Biden. But Joe Biden never brought it home because he thought it might affect their elections in 2020. In 2022, the midterms. So he didn't bring it back. And then as time went on in 2023, he was like this, we can't bring it back now because it might affect my election since he was running at the time for re-election. Because he was afraid
of that all by himself.
He was afraid of optics. That's what he was afraid of. And then in 2024, Kamala Harris got in there. They still hadn't brought the plane in there. He gets there, and they're like, to say, we got a plane we gave to you. And he looks at it. He's like, all right, let's bring it back.
What do you call it? So, yeah, I thought it was funny when you said that Biden was kind of like, concerned about optics. That's kind of like, so you're worried about this plane affecting your election, huh? But the whole open border and inflation and Hunter
Hey,
Biden laptop is. I
I'm not
know,
saying
I know,
I'm not saying
I
it
know.
made sense. I'm just telling you
I get-
that's what insiders in the Biden administration were saying to people. Okay.
yeah. I mean, I know that's not your words; that's their words, which adds to the
Chapter. Super
insanity of
important that you
Biden.
guys call this number. First, my
Let's-
happy patriots all
What the hell?
Medicare annual enrollment
ahead.
is
He's advertising something. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Go buy some stuff from this really super white dude with liberal glasses on. What the hell's up with that?
I know every liberal I see online, people like Rosie O'Donnell, Jim Acosta, what's his name? Keith Olbermann, they have these dark round glasses.
Big old fuck you,
Yeah,
Medicaid
and,
glasses.
Doug, you gotta get different glasses.
Yeah.
You're starting to morph into them, dude.
Yeah. Is that Doug Oberman? Oberman. Keith TenNapel.
Keith TenNapel.
ample. I called chapter. Thank you. When it starts on December 1st, I'll be saving 3. And the comments 2 can get all of that cheddar exile sent you. Okay, so this is the kind of lunatics that I'm saying are in the more conspiracy side of the right. This is a video they put together on why they believe that a turning point born again Christian is who actually shot Charlie Kirk, not the trans furry shooter. I'm only saying which one on a character profile is more likely. This Turning Point employee shot Charlie Kirk, says this lunatic. The furry lover is a patsy. So now they're coming out and defending the furry trans lover. This is spread this like jam. So they're asking you to move it around. Looks like the religiosity of the Christians made a move to overtake Turning Point. And they CC'd real Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Officer Tatum, and Tucker Carlson. So that's a conspiracy that it was the Christians that Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens said in that one video where I tore her apart, said that suddenly Turning Point was going all Christian. So this is how a Christian would defend it. A Christian, someone at Turning Point, an employee would shoot Charlie Kirk to keep it more Christian. That's what conspiracy thinking will do.
All right, you know what? That part I actually agree with them on. I don't disagree with them on that.
Well, nobody was defending the furry trans person guy. They were just thinking that there's a possibility that when this all went down, there's the possibility that there's more to this thing. And I'm with you, Matt. I think that the shooter was the dude that they have.
No, that's not where I was going with it. What I'm saying is people were doing long stretches and trying to explain what happened to him, like the microphone bomb that was on the other side of the neck, without any singe marks on him or anything else. I mean, all these different ideas was like crazy to me. I was like, this dude, you can when you hear there's some footage out there. If you hear the footage, it's obviously a gunshot. It's a distance away. You know, it's about 100 to 150 yards away if you hear it from where Charlie's at. And I was like, this dude, why would an explosion at a mic sound like that? And then some people had ideas it was a handgun, which it does not sound like a handgun. It sounds like a rifle. And also they have these other ideas, and it just piled on. And I was just like this, okay, look, I'm open for ideas, but when the ideas is about you getting clicks instead of actually finding the truth, that's when you lose me.
Yeah. I am really interested in some of the financial things happening when it came to Turning Point, Faith, and all that.
Yes.
That is very interesting.
If you Wolf of Wall Street, go check out that video that he talks about it. Fantastic. Yeah. We actually might do something on that one.
I think we should, because that right there, I mean, regardless of, I'm not trying to,
No, I agree with you. None of us are trying to say that. Me and him are not trying to say that Turning Point had anything to do with this when it comes to murder of Charlie Kirk. What I'm saying is, and I think William is saying, the financials there is not right. It doesn't look right. Wrong. It's something wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong. And that's something that'd be kind of a fun thing to look into. And also that Rob McCoy guy, and he's got a lot of ties to military stuff, his family, a lot of things.
Ron McCoy. Who's that?
That's that dude that runs. He's one of the Charlie Kirk Turning Point lead pastor guy.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know who you.
That guy's into some crazy stuff, man.
Well, yeah.
He's a dude that ministers one of their churches that was convicted of doing something harmful to somebody underage, and then did time in prison for it. Then gets out, denies it, and then that dude has Rob McCoy, puts the guy in front of the camera, denies all these all the things that happened to him, said that girl lied about it, and she was very young. Well, she ends up emailing and saying, "Look, that dude's telling a lie. This really happened. I can't believe this, that, and the other." So there is some strange things and it's not Charlie Kirk's fault. His empire got so large that it's hard to keep up with everything. The money coming in, the money going out.
Before he got shot, he was doing an audit.
An outside, not a within audit, but he wanted a team of Doge to go in there and see what was going on.
Well, he actually already started it before he left.
Yeah.
Or before he passed away. Yeah.
Right.
Let's go ahead and watch some more of the video.
Here's Donald Trump responding to when they ask him if he realizes that Marjorie Taylor Greene claims that she's getting threats. And
her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, he says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her. Okay. What about you?
Are you negotiating?
He doesn't think she's in danger, so he's calling her out too as a liar bombshell. Meanwhile, this is a real conspiracy I actually agree with. So if you want to say, Doug, you're just being mean to conspiracy theorists, no, this is a conspiracy. Bombshell House Judiciary Committee proves J6 leaders Liz Cheney and Benny Thompson secretly fed Jack Smith evidence, transcripts, docs, Meadows' texts to target Trump, illegal collusion, violated House rules, abused power in December 2022, the rush before the GOP takeover, proven setup, J6 was a deep state hit job, locked them up, and this is the legal document that you can see. Wait, another conspiracy theory that I believe in.
Okay, whoa. That's a conspiracy theory?
It's not a conspiracy
I thought it was
proof.
I thought there was plenty of evidence.
Yeah, we all see.
I mean, dude, they deleted so much crap during those committees that it's not even funny. Loudermilk has had to bring people in to actually get this evidence and recover it that's been deleted. So,
why would you do that if there's something was up and up?
Exactly right. So, calling that a conspiracy theory is not fair to conspiracy theories, because that right there is absolutely the truth of what happened. These people were deleting shit. These people were out there going after Trump hardcore and trying their best to do what they could to actually get him put in jail, and helping Jack Smith to facilitate that, even though he was put in place illegally.
So one of the Proud Boys guy, the leader, the one with the eye patch, was actually assisting one of the senators to get out of there, helping him to leave in safety. And his testimony, the senator gave testimony and said, this guy wasn't harming me at all. He was trying to help. He was trying to get me out. He was trying to, suppress the crowd, get the crowd to stop, get me out of there. And they ended up going back. And then whatever happened, that guy changes his testimony. And next thing you know, that guy's in prison with the eye patch, whatever.
Yeah, for 20 years. He got a 20-year prison sentence for it.
Yeah. So which testimony would you go with, considering the fact that the Proud Boys had been around for many, many, many years, by the way. They were involved in just pretty much just trying to uphold the Constitution, training people how to use firearms properly, lawfully, and have never harmed or hurt anybody. There has never been a crime that they've actually could tie to these people as long as they've been around in large groups. And then you have a situation where the thing goes crazy and they get trapped in the middle of all that. And so, why would that guy say that? Why would that guy say that from the beginning? Because I guess he thought it was a legitimate January 6th committee. He was like, I better tell the truth and tell them that guy wasn't actually harming me. They took him back. So I'm like, no, we're a sham committee and we need crappy evidence. So you're going to go back and you're going to change your story and we're going to use that.
Yeah, I mean, you know how many times that one girl, Hutchinson, she changed her story at least a dozen times. And well, not quite a dozen, like 6 times.
What was the one where Trump goes to? He reaches up through the thing and grabs the steering wheel.
All right, no, they're in the Beast. That you're talking about the Beast. They're in the Beast. That's the limo that the president rides in. He reaches in to grab that steering wheel because he was pissed off because he wanted to go to the Capitol. Here's the thing about that vehicle. There's no way Trump could have done it because that vehicle's too big for him to be able to do it. And number two, Trump's like this. How am I going to do that? These are big, strapping young men. How am I going to get past that? Like, what?
He grabs the steering wheel. He screams at the top of his lungs. And then he groped me at a changing station at the same time. I'm like, wait a minute. Come on, lady. Come on. I paint my trees.
Alex Bushewitz, as promised last week, the full force of the MAGA movement will be mobilized in Indiana to unseat the RINOs who are betraying their constituents and undermining our nation by obstructing critical redistricting reforms. So this is about Indiana. We want to redistrict it. Republicans stabbed Trump in the back. That's a conspiracy and will not redistrict Indiana. Trump has promised to primary those Republicans. I will be strongly endorsing against any state senator or House member from the great state of Indiana that votes against the Republican Party and our nation by not allowing for redistricting for congressional seats in the United States House of Representatives, as every other state in our nation is doing, Republican or Democrat. Democrats are trying to steal our seats everywhere, and we're not going to let this happen. This all began with the rigged census. True. We must keep the majority at all costs. Republicans must fight back. So Trump's trying to get us back on track off the Epstein files on stuff that actually affects our country's future. Trump says he will support the primary challengers to any Indiana legislatures. Here's Ian Miles Chung. President Trump appears to have picked a winner in the current right-wing civil war. It's Tucker Carlson, and he urges conservatives to give Nick Fuentes a voice and let people decide for themselves if they agree with him. All he's saying is let them use their free speech. He's not endorsing anyone. There's another one breaking. It's been revealed that the January 6th committee spent $17.4 million in taxpayer funds. This is another conspiracy that I believe in. More than double its original budget to hire filmmakers and actors to produce content dramatizing its case against President Trump. We have...
How's that a conspiracy theory? We got evidence that that's true.
Yes. Not a conspiracy.
Yeah.
And basically, too, I want to debunk something that Doug TenNapel said about forgetting about the Epstein stuff so that we can get on with what merely matters to the country. This is what affects a lot of the regular MAGA base, the normal MAGA, the people that have been in here since day one. Where the movies came from with Jim Caviezel, that and the ones that Lethal Weapon actor guy, I can't remember his name now, but anyways. They made a bunch of movies talking about human trafficking. The structure and the power structure, Mel Gibson, the power structure and the corruption and these elites have all built this off of a lot of the things that happened with Epstein. And those people are in power right now. And because of that, those people are compromised, and they're also pulling some rather intricate levers that operate our governmental maneuvering. And the reason why we're so concerned about the Epstein files is because as long as those people are allowed to exist into these levers that can be pulled, that means that all the stuff that Trump is doing is only temporary. You can work really hard, you can change policy while you're in there, but the people behind the scenes who run the show, as soon as the curtains close and you step off the stage, immediately they rearrange the furniture back just the way it was, to the same crap that we're going through because they're still in power. And that's what bothers the MAGA side so much. That's why we wanted to get the Epstein stuff out, because we wanted to see those people taken down legally.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. But the other thing also I want to add is the problem with with them having the shutdown when that happened and the Republicans not being in session in the House is that they could have codified a lot of Trump's executive orders. They didn't. And they chose not to. Why? Because they didn't want to release the Epstein files, because they knew if they were in session, they would have to actually put someone won an election somewhere else. I can't remember what it was. It was a Democrat, and she was the 218th vote. Definitely vote they were going to get at the time. And they're like, okay, let's shut this down so we don't have to worry about voting to actually open up a can of worms when it comes to the Epstein files. And then when it's all said and done, They do it anyway. Instead of just having like a split Congress, almost everybody in Congress signs off on it. Almost everybody. Only one
Could have
person.
done that from the get-go.
If they would have just done it to the get-go during the shutdown and go ahead and codify a lot of Trump's policies, whether it be elections, whatever it might be, the nation would have been a whole lot better off.
And Boseberg.
Well, the nation would have been a whole lot better off in the long run. And unfortunately, these people like Doug TenNapel and others are completely ignoring that. And they're singing like Doug TenNapel on a daily basis. I see him singing Mike Johnson's praises. And Mike Johnson sucks. Okay?
Big time. Yeah.
He's a neocon. And there's an article just came out from the Gateway Pundit. Elise Stefanik says Speaker Johnson is protecting the deep state, claiming he's blocking provisions to root out the legal weaponization behind Crossfire Hurricane and Arctic frosts, siding with the Raskins against Trump Republicans. And you know what? It does not surprise me if that's the case. It would not surprise me because every time he has ability to do something that'll be good for the country, good for his constituents, and good for the MAGA base, he does the complete opposite of it.
He does, yes. I've noticed that as well. Yep.
Proof. We have evidence. This is known fact. This is a real conspiracy. Real. Just in other news, I found this one. Zelensky and Macron signed a historic deal in Paris that boosts France's military support for Ukraine. Good, I support this. France should be paying their share. It includes deliveries of French aircraft. You can tell they're French aircraft because they have hairy armpits under the wings. And now here's a message from Trump. Oh my God, Trump just posted this in response to a meme demanding Pam Bondi arrest somebody. So this is a little bit of shade being thrown at Pam Bondi. Here's, this is someone posted this. Christopher Wray testifies before Congress that he did not place FBI agents in the crowd. And now we know that he did place FBI agents in the crowd. Here's the SNL character yelling at her, for the love of God, just arrest somebody. And Trump says Ray lied. So it looks like he's trying to send a message to Pam Bondi. He's not allowed to collude with her on these investigations. Remember, there's another conspiracy that I believe in.
Here's the thing. Pam Bondi, she's controlled opposition. Okay?
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
He's not, you can hang it up.
None
None of those seditious six, nothing will happen to those people. They're not going to court Marshall Kelly. Unfortunately, I'm not doing this to because I'm happy. I wish I was wrong about this, but that's just where it's at. Best case scenario, it just quells their messaging. It gets them to stop doing that so they don't corrupt the military any more than they already have. But so far as anything kinetic, not going to happen. Pam Bondi is not going to do anything. Nothing. She's not going to. I hate to say this, but we're not going to see any arrests from anybody. We're going to have
the thing is, the only one that's still being prosecuted right now is the only Republican that they went after, and now is Bolton. And I guarantee you, they'll probably prosecute him, which is I'm fine with. I'm happy with. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy with. He needs to be be in jail. But here's the thing: if
they don't just know about Boseberg, they're going to come after Noam.
Here's my thing: Boseberg's not going to go to jail. He'll get impeached. Here's the people I'm more concerned with, and that's Comey. That's also Brennan and people like that, Ray and others that lied to Congress, right to people's face, and nothing's happened to them. But yet, if you are Steve Bannon and Navarro, and you decide that you do not want to go and testify because you think you have presidential immunity because of being part of the administration and be part and having his ear. And then you're going through the court process. While you're going through the court process at the time, they decide to go ahead and arrest you for not answering the subpoena. I got problems with that because they were following the legal process, and they decided to go around that legal process, arrest them, charge them, and then convict them and put them in jail for 4.5 months.
Didn't some high-ranking officials get subpoenaed? They didn't show up here recently. Was any of the
none of these people have been subpoenaed recently. They've been asked to come in.
Even worse.
They've been asked to come in. and they said no. So now they're doing subpoenas.
Yeah, well, and they did subpoena Hunter Biden. He didn't show up, or he showed up but then just walked out.
No, he showed up and he did his thing behind closed doors, and then it was it was the time that you're talking about. The time he wasn't even asked to come in. He just came in to watch and make a scene and then left.
Yeah, that's right. Him and his lawyer had sniffed a little sniffy, and then went in there, and they're both of them were tore back. You could look at them both like, dang, these people were partying before they came in here. Yeah, it's just yeah, the we've got a problem with the Republican Party, and Doug TenNapel is a supporter of that side of the Republican Party. He's going to roll with them. He's not going to call them out. This is where this video we're doing is because we see where the MAGA movement has separated, because we didn't change, they did.
We see where it's been captured by the establishment. MAGA is no longer MAGA. MAGA is establishment.
Yes, yeah, and Doug TenNapel is pushing for that. He's casting shade on all the people who were nobody liked MAGA except for the ones that when January 6th happened, who was the only people going to the jails to try to get in and see those people? It was Marjorie Taylor Greene, I believe, Matt Gaetz,
Marjorie Taylor Greene, also Thomas Massie was doing some stuff.
Yep.
And a few others. The rest of them said they could rot for all they cared.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. And then and Marjorie Taylor Greene was the only person that would call out the manipulated elections in 2020 in real time in front of Congress. When they'd ask her, she'd say, yeah, they screwed us over. That, she was the only person that wasn't afraid to say it. And, these are and it's obvious what happened. That's not, you could, yes, there's some people that voted for Biden, but what happened in 2020 was obvious, some sort of a manipulation on multiple levels. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was the only one that had the balls enough to say anything. And when all those people were in jail from January 6th, she was, you talk about people going to see these illegals that are being held in these jails and not allowed to go in and see. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene goes to check on the January 6th people because they were being tortured in there, and they wouldn't let them go see them. And these are actual Congressmen members that do have the right to go in there and see these people. And they were shut out, and nothing legal was done about that.
They have oversight over those areas in D.C.
Yes, and they were not allowed to go in. Would not let them go in, and then nothing happened legally to anybody for that happening. So we've been spit on by all the the establishment Republicans were fine with it. We're laughing at us, and those are the ones that Doug TenNapel is supporting right now. Those are the people Doug TenNapel right now would wash Mitch McConnell's feet. He would say, "Come here, let me clean your toes," because he's forgotten where this all started, why we're doing this, and who were the main characters in supporting this very fringe base that became this monster movement. And then now that people have we got Trump in and such is happening, people are falling asleep. And in my opinion, I think that Doug's ideology is being more driven on the clicks and updos that he gets from the videos, because YouTube does not throttle them, because obviously YouTube likes the direction of MAGA and how it's going now, which is establishment, anti-freedom, anti-sovereignty, anti-American first, and they're pushing his videos, and he's making tons of money off of it. So even if he's seen the wrong in what he's doing, he is going to keep going in a direction that you see right now, because it's paying him very well.
Yeah, I mean, and if that's the case, I'm not saying it is, but if that's the case, that'll make him no different than the people he criticizes, like Candace Owens and others, that he says the same thing about them.
Yes, exactly.
Elon Musk. This is Biden-Harris. Remember to send forklifts to open the border when Texas built a razor wall. Never forget this lesson. Look, that's a track. They're lifting up the razor wire so the illegals can pour in. The Democrats did that to get voters in here. That's a real conspiracy. Now, here's a guy I don't agree with, Alex Jones.
When he really got pissed. Check the flight logs of Epstein's plane. Bill Clinton on there like 26 times. Hillary, too. For many of us, releasing the Epstein files has always been for the women who are victims. She said the same thing on there of Jeffrey Epstein. But also because we believe that Democrat bad guys like the Clintons will and involved with him. Epstein was a spider that wove the web of the deep state. Lean into it. In every single interview I have done, I have defended country.
Right.
Why would you do something like this? And so here's a message to Trump. You've endorsed Lindsey Graham, who said, Donald Trump, screw Donald Trump, never Trumper, not just 9 years ago, not just 8 years ago, but when they stole the election from you 5 years ago. And then Lindsey Graham kisses your ass.
He doesn't just kiss Trump's ass. He votes with Trump. This is what
No, he kisses his ass, and he doesn't always vote with Trump. That's a lie.
And the whole time, I remember Lindsey Graham saying that Trump needs to be arrested. He needs to be put in jail. He has no business in Congress. He has no business anywhere close to being in the White House. He's a dangerous man. He's an unhinged man. And basically, there's one of two things. Either he really hates Trump or he wants to make love to him, one of the two. But either way, Lindsey Graham is weird, and he's wrong.
And here's the other thing. He would not support Matt Gaetz. Would not support him at all. And when he was nominated for the Attorney General, you know why? Because he did take money from Israel. So,
exactly.
Here's my thing about Doug TenNapel on this one. He doesn't like Alex Jones because Alex Jones hasn't changed.
Exactly.
And he has, though. He's become an establishment shield, in my opinion.
Yep.
And you can tell by this video.
Yeah. If anytime you say you give a green light to Lindsey Graham, Lindsey Graham, we need to send more money to Ukraine when we don't need oversight. They just need to get the money down there to them. Don't mind the fact that I live with another dude, Lindsey Graham. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And this is 4 years ago, 3 years ago, Doug TenNapel had never stood for that. He was, matter of fact, I recall Doug TenNapel calling out Lindsey Graham on a lot of things that he was saying. And then, you could say, well, Lindsey Graham has changed now. He's voting with Trump, this, that, and the other. Well, if you can flip flop like that, you don't have a backbone. You're not standing for anything other than what is the best interest for your own pocket and what gives you clicks.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. He doesn't memory hold anything. I don't know if that's age. I don't know if that's because of his age or because it doesn't make money for him.
Doesn't make money for him.
what Alex Jones will not address. Lindsey Graham votes with Trump, even though he stabbed him in the back on 2020. But what he needs right now is someone to vote with him. And Marjorie Taylor Greene will not vote with him. She drags him down in public. I don't see Lindsey Graham dragging him down this week. He has to go back to 2021.
And does all this, and you defend him. You defend these other neocons, and then you say Thomas Massie and MTG aren't MAGA?
Thomas Massie and MTG are not MAGA, Alex Jones. Do you know how I know they're not? Because Trump is MAGA, and he says they're not.
That's what Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro are saying.
No, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Levin
Trump is not MAGA. Trump is not MAGA. We are MAGA. We
Actually, I got a different take on this. Let me give it to you. Look, there's three different categories in the Republican Party. You have the conservative movement, which I think Doug TenNapel actually fits that. He's part of the conservative movement, neocon, Zionist, idiots, right there. And then you have the MAGA movement, which is might as well be MAGA. Okay. The only thing they have in common is they want to make America great. Don't get me wrong, but they also are willing to go and make Israel great too.
They blindly just follow a bunch of really crazy people.
Yes, that's why the whole Venezuela thing that's interesting that's coming out is because they're trying to say Hezbollah and Hamas are located on an island off the coast of Venezuela, and they are training to be training for terrorism, and they're getting paid by Iran. And the only reason you do that is because you want to get MAGA involved, because that actually
MAGA. You want to get bigger.
Or MAGA, because that would influence people that are Zionists that are in MAGA. Now, then the last one, which I think Tucker Carlson fits, that would be America First. That would be me and you. That would be Tucker Carlson. MAGA would be Donald Trump and other people like him when it comes to that particular subject. You know, and here's the thing. The conservative movement and MAGA can work together for certain aspects. And matter of fact, MAGA is becoming more and more part of that conservative movement. They might actually just merge at some point or another. It's hard to tell the difference.
Yeah. And you and me are just out here floating around on a boat by ourselves, like, hey, can we just worry about us and try to fix this stuff over here?
Yeah, don't double tap me. Don't double tap me.
Yeah. Please.
Whatever happened there, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro, what are they, Alex Jones? They're a something. Who, they're Jews. You can't support Mark Levin and Shapiro. You got to support Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene or MAGA.
They're super unpopular.
They're unpopular. Now we're doing popularity. Who's more popular?
What?
So Mark Levin is an asshole. Everybody knows that. I don't even think Mark Levin likes himself. And Ben Shapiro, if he keeps talking, he's going to actually fold into his, like, you ever seen that, like, Eon Flux cartoons from back in the early 90s? That dude turns completely inside out where his skin goes in. That's going to be Ben Shapiro. And Alex Jones has never said anything bad about Jewish people. He's always spoken out against the corrupt Israel government. Just to clarify that. He says this every time. He says, look, people want me to get mad at Jews. But he says, look, it's got nothing to do with Jewish people. He says there's a corrupt Israel government that's merged with our corrupt government, and they're driving us off a cliff, and we need to do something about it. And Mark Levin is major paid by these people. He doesn't care about anybody but his own pocket, and he's willing to follow that completely off a cliff, take America with him. And Ben Shapiro is, I don't even know what to, I'm not even going there. I'll let you handle that.
Well, I completely agree with you on everything you just said, because I've never heard Alex Jones say anything negative about Jewish people ever. Matter of fact, when he had people on like Nick Fuentes and also
Rabbi Shmuley on there one time.
Yeah, well, I'm talking anyway. When he had people that people would consider anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic, people like Nick Fuentes and also he'll try to talk to them and try to make them realize that, look, you need to actually look at people at an individual basis, not look at who they are, what part of a group they are.
Right.
And the only people I know that look at people like that is actually Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin themselves.
Yes,
they believe in identity politics. They might as well be part of the left.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Well said, sir.
When I was in high school, people would say, you can't oppose them. They're popular. Alex Jones is more popular than me. I guess he's right. Why am I arguing with him? He's popular.
Their once big audiences are shadows of themselves. The only relevance they have is attacking those of us that are popular and issuing threats.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is issuing threats, and they issue threats against me, too. I'm being threatened. Jesse Smollett.
So, again, I'm not throwing baby out the bathwater because of the Tom Homans and the Tulsi Gabbards the RFK Juniors and overall.
Eye on the ball right there. He's not throwing them out. He's not throwing the whole MAGA out because of Tom Homan. That's right. Good.
Oh, we're moving the needle massively. We're having huge reform, cutting the deep state's funding. On one side, I am happier than a pig in poop.
Yeah, so let's go with that. Stay with your happiness in MAGA. That's the plan forward, my brother. Do you know why? Because Israel is a giant distraction and going after, I can't keep doing that voice. I'll strip my throat. 48 mosques have opened in.
First thing, he doesn't go after Israel.
No, he doesn't. He's talking about the Israel government. There's two different things. And what gets me is like I said in the beginning of this video, is that Alex Jones has supported Donald Trump more than I have. And so for Doug TenNapel to attack Alex Jones and what he's talking about, even though Alex Jones is right, because if you actually look, do you recall, now I don't know how legitimate this poll was, but after Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned, there was a poll that was ran, and I don't like that, how legitimate, which is just something I'd seen, that she polled higher numbers for presidential candidacy than Trump did when he ran. And and people like,
and she was in the poll. You had likely Republicans running for president, and where they were running. And JD Vance is at 55. Then you had I believe Marco Rubio at like 21. Then you had someone, you had his son 11. Then you had Marjorie Taylor Greene at 6%. Well, if you remember back in when he ran in 2016, before he got in there, it was like 2015. A poll came out with him in it, and he was at like 3%.
Yeah, and Marjorie Taylor Greene stood and backed him up. Said, "Dude, we need this guy. This is our guy." And she didn't even ask for his endorsement. I don't think he actually ever did endorse her. But she stood by him because she thought that it would be a great, we need this guy, and that's what she did. And she stood by him whenever everybody else was criticizing Trump. She said that even whenever she had to endure the years of Biden being installed, she never backed down from the fact that something was wrong with the 2020 elections, that we shouldn't even have this potato in for a president. She was the only people willing to say that. She never clapped for Biden. She stood for America. And and like I said, Alex Jones, for Doug TenNapel to attack Alex Jones, and what gets me is because I keep saying this is because Alex is probably holding the MAGA movement together better than most people, and we don't need somebody with Doug TenNapel's large platform tearing Alex Jones down and delegitimizing him over the fact that Alex has said some outlandish things that actually, this is not dealing with the whole thing that's being sued for, but he actually brought the documents out about a lot of crazy things that go on in our government that nobody likes to talk about, but it's true when you want to go after somebody because of that, when they're actually right about a lot of things. So Doug TenNapel, shame on you.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Now, this next part, I actually agree with him. He's going to talk about Moss.
Texas in just 24 months. This is the enemy. This is what you should be concerned with. And I'll prove it to you. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Alex Jones have turned their back on this.
That's a lie. I hear Alex Jones talk about it all the time. This is what happens when you allow someone like, all right, not allow someone. This is what happens when you have someone like Doug TenNapel, who doesn't watch Alex Jones at all, come out there and do references like this. That's complete bullshit. Fact is, Alex Jones talks about this more than Doug TenNapel does.
Exactly. Yes,
and not only that, Doug TenNapel's, not only the thing is, he goes out there and touts someone like, what's her name? Pam Bondi, when Pam Bondi is a Scientologist and says nothing about that.
Yeah. She's not a Christian. And Doug TenNapel is this big Christian guy. And Scientology, you have at it. If you want it, that's fine. But it's whatever it is. I'm not going to attack people. But all I'm saying is it's not what Doug TenNapel be believing in. And a lot of Scientology is anti-Christian. It really is. So, you want to go into that realm of things. But regardless, the only reason why Doug TenNapel even clipped Alex Jones is because it just popped up in his Twitter feed. And he watches one damn video. If he actually watched InfoWars a little bit and understood what was really going on and what they're really talking about, I would imagine he would think a little differently, because Alex Jones actually makes it a point to say, look, I am not making my content all about Israel. He says, I've talked about it. I've made, facts about what's going on with the government in Israel, but we really need to keep our eye on the ball. And he talks a lot about the Muslim takeover. He talks about the neocons. He puts the pieces together, showing you how these people that are pulling Trump away from the America First agenda into their narrative, in all this. And, so yeah, shame on you again, Doug TenNapel. Shame.
Real enemy within. 48 mosques have opened in Texas. Do you see it on this video? 48 mosques. This is proof. This is the actual addresses. Just in the last 2 years, 48 mosques. That's 24 mosques a year. That's 2 per month. And I love this comment. Glad we're tearing each other apart over the Jews. It's the Jews you have to be worried about. Did they open up 24 Jewish synagogues just in Texas? No, it's radical Islam. And you got Alex Jones, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Look, none of them talk about Jews. They talk about the Israeli government. This is dishonesty right here. Yeah. So much dishonesty, because he's conflating Jewish people with the government of Israel. All right, if I criticize the American government, does that make me anti-American? No.
How dare you talk about me like that, Matt?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
anti-Semitic to say that.
I
about
mean,
me.
it's kind of like, okay, if a British person criticizes the British government, are they anti-British? No.
Right, exactly.
If I go and
Yeah.
criticize the British government, am I anti-British? No. If I criticize the Jewish government, I'm not anti-Jew, or I'm against the Jewish government itself. And here's my question to him, and maybe he'll answer it on one of his videos. I doubt it if he even sees this video. But if the Jewish government is so great in your opinion, you're going to conflate the Jewish people with the government there, then are you okay with them actually making 96% of their population take the vaccine? And it was forced. Right. It was forced.
Yes, it was forced. Yeah.
Are you okay with that? Do you think that
what about
government?
The persecution of
do you think that government is what? Do you think that government is worth you losing your soul over? Huh, Doug?
Because Doug talked about that. He used to talk about that. I don't know if he mentions that anymore now, but he used to be really anti-Fauci jabs and talked about how because of the CRISPR technology that it possibly could you lose your soul over it, and there it is, a large persecution of Christianity going on by the Israel government as well. Would you say anything about that?
Well, speaking of that, there was, I think, in the West Bank and Gaza together, 10% Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's down to 2%. Are you okay with that, Doug?
Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah, are you okay?
And so another thing too.
Whoa! Us pointing that out, does that make us
anti-Semitic?
Anti-Semitic? Because that's what happened.
Yeah, and we're not saying anything. The Jewish people ain't got nothing to do with that. It's that crazy government.
Yep.
Whatever they are, I don't know. You tell me. But that was regardless. So check this out. If the corrupt Israel government is part of the European invasion of illegals that are coming in there. They're actually advocating for it. And that one prime minister dude that has something to do with the Israel government, not Netanyahu, but another guy that's involved with that, talked about how they're facilitating this large mass immigration invasion because they understand, not the Jewish people, but the Israel government understands how useful crazy Muslims are to destroy things for them. And then when after it's all destroyed and brought down, then the Israel government comes in there and cleans that all up, and then they claim it for theirs. This is a plan, and I'm not saying that's what's happening in America, but by distracting our politicians with a lot of their crazy antics and wanting us to get involved in
I don't think that's the case there. I don't agree with you on there. I think what's going on when it comes to Europe is it's actually our fault because we went to Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, so on and so forth, and overthrow the governments there. And what happened? You had mass migration out of those countries into Europe. That was caused because of us working for Israel to take out.
Okay, so yeah, I was headed that direction.
Look. Let me finish. My point is, that's the government's issue that did that. Not only that, the U.S. government didn't have to do it. Let's put blame where it belongs on that one. That's the U.S. government. Yeah. They did something they shouldn't have done, and they should have just said no.
Yeah. But they did because somebody enticed them to do it.
Actually, I don't think it was enticing. I think if you want to see what happens when you don't do what they want you to do, George Bush is an example of it. Because, and I'm talking about George Bush Sr. Mm-hmm. Look, he went into Iraq during Desert Storm, didn't overthrow the government there. He was all popular. He was doing really well in popularity. What happens? Election comes up. You have him against Bill Clinton, and then you have what's his name, Ross Perot joined that race. And if Ross Perot went in there, George Bush would have won. Okay, he took a lot of votes from him, and they made sure. Not only that, Israel donated a shit ton of money to Bill Clinton. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, a shit ton. To make sure that they could actually get the policies they wanted from Bill Clinton and not only that, Hillary Clinton took a lot of money from him in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
But they actually gave money to both candidates in that election. They normally do. They normally do that. you know.
Yeah, I know. You know who else took a bunch of money from Hillary Clinton, or Hillary Clinton took a bunch of money from? Patrick Byrne.
Oh, well, I was going to say, I was actually going to say Epstein.
Well, no, Patrick Byrne was employed by Cutaway for Brennan under the
Yeah.
Obama administration for it was like a $15 million bribe, and she took it, and then Obama used it to blackmail her.
Well, what I was talking about is Epstein.
Yeah.
Epstein donated money to her for her Senate run, and for her
and to get that ugly daughter of hers a little bit of plastic surgery, so
and for her presidential run.
Thomas Massie, Tucker Carlson going after the Jews. It's Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin. And that's after Alex Jones just now said their audience is shrinking. So their impact and their social media is shrinking. That is, their influence is less influential. Why are you more worried about the Jews than Islam, which just put Mamdani in as mayor?
They're not. That's a lie.
Yeah,
they talk about it all the time.
Yeah, they
especially
do.
Alex Jones, Steve Bannon. They all talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
In New York, a socialist Muslim, and you're pointing all of your influence at the Jews, you imbecile. Sorry, I think Alex Jones is a genius, okay? He's an incredible entertainer, and he's just an influencer, okay? I'm just an influencer too, giving you my opinion. Big deal. But dude, don't go telling Trump what to do. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene back when she understood that about Islam. This is called a flip. This is Loomer Unleashed, flip-flop Margie. She used to think Sharia law was the biggest threat.
There is an Islamic invasion.
She still thinks that.
Yes, she's never not thought that.
She has never thought, not thought
yet.
that.
Yeah.
He's just making shit up for a video.
Well, and he gets the help from Laura Loomer, who's completely not unhinged.
Into our government offices right now.
And now it's the Jews are the invasion in our government offices right now.
Ilhan Omar doesn't deserve committees. She absolutely does not deserve committees.
A woman out of Minnesota, now she's going into Congress and she's got to wear a head covering.
So that she can represent radical Islam in the United States Congress.
What happened to Marjorie Taylor Greene? When did she get off of Islam and get on the Jews?
She hasn't.
Well, she has talked about the Israel government infiltrating, because she talked how AIPAC influences a lot of the Republican Party, which is dangerous because it gets us involved in crap that makes mass migration a problem, which is part of the reason why we got these damn Muslims. Fair enough.
Well, here's the thing. The other thing that I think you're getting off tangent there, but here's the big thing that we need to emphasize. She still talks about this to this day, that Islam is a problem. Him saying that is not true. She still talks about it. She tweets it at least once a day.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what he's talking about here. She hasn't changed at all. It's MAGA that has changed, and it's people like Doug TenNapel don't realize that Israel is an issue when it comes to money inside politics. Matter of fact, we need, in my opinion, when it comes to foreign aid, we need to stop foreign aid everywhere. And the big story I've been talking about this week is the money that the Muslims in Minnesota has been sending to Somalia to give to terrorists. That's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somalia gets a bunch of money and there's nothing there. It's like, what do they do with the money? Where'd it go?
And Doug TenNapel, has he made any videos on that? He's made a couple. That's it. I've made 6. Okay. That's a big news story. That's important to talk about. And Doug TenNapel's done two stories on it. And he's willing to talk about that, but he's not willing to talk about anything that might criticize Israel because he's worried about getting paid.
Yes, as soon as he does that, he understands the views go down, and then that means he can't buy a big fancy front porch that's treated and have a bunch of really cheap labor do it for him. He likes cheap labor too.
We need.
Huh?
He likes cheap labor too.
Oh, I know. That's why I put him in. That's why I put him in the conservative movement.
Ah.
to hold accountable. That right there, we've had enough of it. President Joe Biden is being pushed around by the jihad.
By the chief life squad.
So members of Congress are supporting terrorists. Hamas.
She has a Israel flag in front of her. What happened? Who got to you? The Muslims? If we're doing conspiracies, the Muslims must be paying Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, it ends there. So
Yeah. Well, shame on you, Doug TenNapel. You know, the reason why, well, I got into this YouTube because I wasn't in it for the money. Because I'm like, my channel is monetized now, but I went into this and I got monetized back in 2022 when I started my channel, not long after I started it. And then immediately after I started to make traction and was bringing really good receipts talking about manipulated elections, problems within, I got demonetized. And I went almost 2.5 years making 2 and 3 videos a day, demonetized completely, because I had one main goal in mind. That's to try to save this country, to try to change the narrative, to try to help people, show people that a regular person could get out and do this. My heart was in the right place. But and I thought that other people's heart was in the correct place as well. But as I'm watching this movement carry on, I can see that people's hearts isn't where I always thought they were. So it disappoints me to see somebody that I look up to do this, because he has a large footprint and a large following and he is an influencer. And I feel like unfortunately, we're supposed to be free thinkers, but there's a lot of people who do follow the leader. So he's considered a leader in his movement. He's leading people off of a cliff, because these people are not bad. Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Alex Jones, and other people like these that are the very few we have in the Republican Party. We need more of those people. We need more people like them to step up and get into the Republican Party and be the actual America first. But when they see that kind of ideology villainized, it tends to put people in a position where they don't want to be themselves or don't want to be the people we need. We need to glorify people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, and others that move in that direction, not vilify these people. And I see that, and that bothers me.
Now, the thing is, that's the reason you're going to see more and more of these people that you're talking about, Marjorie Taylor Greene and others, leave the MAGA movement and leave the Republican Party and go back home and not run for office. And it's because they're like this. Look, I tried to make a difference there, and that place is broken, and there's nothing I can do to fix it. So
I destroyed myself.
I might as well go home, run my business, and be with my family and people I love, and spend time with them, and stop spending time with people that hate me. I completely understand that.
Yeah. And somebody like Doug TenNapel could change that. He could help. He could bring more people in.
Yeah, people like Doug TenNapel and others, y'all are probably like this. Aren't y'all being hypocrites because you're making a video about Doug TenNapel? What I'm hoping is he watches the video and realizes the issue that he's making is not a good one, and stop doing that. I'm fine with him making content, making money. I don't care about that. What I care about is him actually being part of the problem that's separating the MAGA movement. That whole video right there, he contradicts himself, you know, throughout the whole video. When you look at what he did in his past and what he's actually saying in the video. I don't like conspiracy theories. Then the whole video is about conspiracy, is a conspiracy theory coming from him about Marjorie Taylor Greene supposedly sending pizzas to ourselves or whatever else that's in that video. I mean, it's insane to me. I was like this when I first watched it. I was like this. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a video on this, because I was like, that's just all over the place. And the thing is, when you look at his comments, no one calls him out. Very, very little. Some people do when it comes to the Epstein stuff. The Epstein stuff, he lost a lot of subscribers off of that, because people were like this. Look, the Epstein thing's real. It's not a hoax, and I'm not going to go out there and support pedophiles. Just not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so I completely agree with him. I'm with him on that. I'm not going to go and say, hey, you need to stop this vote and protect these pedophiles. I'm not going to do it.
Well, and he would argue, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene was not voting with Trump on certain things, and I can't. She's trying to steer MAGA in a direction. She's trying to use what she has as her little political footprint, try to get people to be aware that we're headed in the wrong direction. And the claims that she or demands or the suggestions that she asked for were definitely within the realm of what the American people wanted.
Well, I'm gonna push back against that. She voted for everything he wanted. She voted for a big beautiful bill, even though she was concerned about the AI thing, and Trump talked to her and convinced her, and so she voted for it. She voted for the also a few other things that Trump wanted. The only thing that they disagreed on was the Epstein thing, and all of a sudden he has to cut her off because there's disagreement there. And,
well,
and you know,
what I mean.
Here's the other thing: he brought in Laura Boebert into the White House to have a conversation with her, and Laura Boebert just told him, like, look, you're going to lose half the caucus. Half the caucus is voting for this thing, whether that you like it or not. And then he realized, look, I'm going to lose the vote. So you know what? I can't be a loser. That's pretty much what he's thinking. I can't be a loser. I'm going to tell them, vote for it, and I'll sign it. I'm for y'all guys releasing it.
Yeah.
When really he didn't need Congress to release it anyway. He could have done it on his own without him.
Yep.
That's the truth. And Doug TenNapel doesn't report that at all. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And for him to just say, just move on. We got bigger things to worry about. You know, what about the victims? What about the whole thing? That was 90%, not 90, but I'd have to say that was a large percentage of what the America First people were all about. Was getting, we were looking so forward to exposing these criminals, these people that did that thing.
It. I'm not worried about it. I said it.
Yeah, well, anyhow, that was something that we were like, because we wanted to see the system go down legally. We wanted to see that. And we know that if the unredacted stuff, aside from victims that needed to be protected, just the names of the people that were involved, let's just say, because that there was, when the FBI raided that Epstein Island thing, they got so much footage of all these people being there. There was, gosh, how many? There's just no. There was like James O'Keefe actually went to the mansion one time. I remember this and went in there. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but he didn't get any videos or anything.
No, but I mean, he. There was some stuff on the phone. There was like a caller ID. He's like, there was he said, wow, there's more here than we got out of the whole thing. And then, and so here's the deal too. Pam Bondi was caught speaking off the record to a friend of hers about all the stuff that she's seen. And it was terrible. And then goes in front of the cameras and goes, well, there was nothing there. And then O'Keefe brought that out. And then on top of that, Kash Patel with his big old stupid eyes wide open and Bongino looked like both of them had seen a ghost. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Just move on. And then Doug TenNapel supports that. When you support that and you allow that to go on, you are opening the door for for everything to go right back to the old establishment ways, which means back to the business as usual. Shut up and take all this stupid stuff. We're not going to do anything for you. The criminals are going to run rampant. As soon as Trump is out of here, it's going to be Katie bar the door.
Or as soon as the Democrats win the House.
In 2026.
Yeah, if they win.
Which
looks like... we're probably going to look at that election before we end the show. But I got another video here I want to play for you guys. It's from Owen Schroyer. The Trump's got something new they're selling now, guys, and I want y'all to check it out. Let's go ahead and play it while I go and look for that.
Folks, we've got the solution as we sign off today. All you need is some Trump vodka. Okay, I don't drink vodka, but if I did, I'd be chugging this. We'd be chugging this vodka. Eric Trump announces Trump vodka. It's available for pre-orders. I looked at it. I think it's like a $50 bottle here. I'm assuming this is a fifth. This looks like a fifth of vodka here. Yeah.
Half gallon.
80
maybe.
proof. The Great American Spirit Trump vodka. Eric Trump announces Trump vodka is available for pre-orders. Head over to TrumpVodka.com to get your hands on the first bottles. You know what? I would actually consider getting one of these bottles just as like a like memorabilia, just as a keepsake, just to have it. It's kind of just a piece of political memorabilia. I wonder if it's any good at $50 a bottle. But that's what we need. We just needed some Trump vodka, folks. Get your hands on the Trump vodka.
At $50,
I don't drink it myself. But if you drink enough of it, you'll think that my policies are doing really good. In fact,
So, like-
I think we're going to make it mandatory, okay? We're going to make Trump vodka a mandatory thing. We're going to put it in the tap water because the only way you can think this administration is following through on promises, the only way you can believe that the economy is doing great, the only way you can think that Caroline Leavitt is still being perfectly honest, the only way you can think there's nothing wrong with bombing those boats in Venezuela, the only way you can think that there's no foreign influence over this administration is after 10 shots of Trump vodka. So drink up, folks. Drink up.
He might have a point there. Yeah. Yeah, he forgot to hit Pam Bondi up with a, if you think Pam Bondi's doing a good job, if you think Cash Patel is doing great,
You got to do
And
the
you know-
hand signals.
hey, if you think Cash Patel is doing a great job and being completely transparent and properly looking into what happened to Charlie Kirk, 10 shots of this Trump vodka. I can do a pretty good Owen Schroyer doing Trump.
Yeah.
Not
All right.
bad.
I found the what's going
Could you
on.
imagine, wait a
here.
minute. Oh, okay, here, the new media talking point. Man crashes into a bunch of people in a crowd with a DUI. And what was found in the vehicle? A bunch of Trump vodka. Lots of Trump vodka bottles in the vehicle. These conservatives are drunk.
All right, here you go. Right now, it's 20% is in, 27% is in. Maddox is ahead by 16 points. Okay. And right now, 82% chance of a Republican winning so far in the that's
Dude.
Poly Market. That's Poly Market.
Did you see the video where she's speaking as an audio, but she talks about how she would have her therapist dissect her dreams? That Bane chick, she has a therapist and she talks about her dreams to her therapist as he dissects these dreams to explain to her what they actually mean. That's you've got to have 10 shots of the Trump vodka to think that's okay.
the AOC from from
The
Tennessee.
AOC from Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah. All right,
Trump vodka.
guys, we're not going to stay up all night and watch this, but we're going to have to end the show. We really appreciate you guys checking us out. Please hit that like button, comment, and share this out to everybody. And go to William's channel. What's the name of your channel, William?
Ratchet Production Studios. Drink 10 shots of Trump vodka and come check me out at Ratchet Production Studios. It's a huge fun time. Okay, that's the best. I kind of screwed it up at the end. Whatever.
Yep. Go check it out. And also check me out on American Patriots every day doing videos. Go check it out.
And we're going to be doing a hot tub live stream one day.
Nope. All right. Peace.